Hello! I got wind. Excuse me. Welcome to this week's Manging Up Batch podcast, where we'll be talking about Resident Evil. That's the Netflix one, and I'll be talking about the Welcome to Raccoon City film that came out. I'll give you a clue. One of them's really crap, and the other one is really crap, but surprisingly respectful of source material. I think it's the best way of describing it. And we'll talk about the latest episode of the Orville. I want to talk about the Terminal List, but you haven't watched it, which is annoying.
I've watched the beginning of it. I do know how it ends.
It's very slow, slow to kick off. I'll be honest with you, but I paced it out over the week and enjoyed the crap out of it. That's worth a watch. I also watched a thing on Netflix called Snowflake Mountain. I'll tell you about that if we get a chance. And we'll talk about the Orville, because the Orville was on. I enjoyed that one. That was really good. And that was a clever one. Also, I explained to Nigel how Gordon managed to get sent through time. Just like to point out there were four of them.
I have to say, yes,
sorry.
You were right. But I did Nigel is currently on a cruise. And I'd forgotten this, but Gareth's answer was, Nigel's on a boat.
It's not a lie. I'm not lying remotely.
It's a ship. But it didn't make me laugh. He's on a boat.
It's a boat. The submarines called boats, aren't they?
Yes.
If you call a submarine a ship, a submariner's officially allowed to slap you.
This is true. This is true.
And that's a fact.
Jack.
Not a factoid. So let's get on with it. What should we talk? Should we talk about Orville or Resident Evil? We'll save Orville towards the end because it's a bit more.
Well, you forced me into watching the Resident Evil. Unfortunately, I only got through about 30 minutes of it before my wife made me go and do stuff, because that's what wives do. But that 30 minutes was difficult enough. I'm sorry, what? This feels cheap.
Teen drama set in zombie apocalypse with the brand of Resident Evil. That's what it is. It's not Resident Evil. It's just they borrowed Resident Evil as a skin suit.
But I mean, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I decided to watch it on my big ass TV, right? And I said this in a message, but I meant it. I wasn't taking the piss. I have seen better effects in a fucking 10-year-old budget sci-fi movie, on the Sci-Fi Channel than in this. The effects were piss poor. I mean, the bit when she's fucking, running away because they've smelled her or something after she puts that poor old bloody rabbit in there, right? And you've got them burning in the fire. I can do fucking better in Blender, and I'm using Blender right now. I can render something better than that in 10 minutes.
Render in Blender.
I mean, it was shit. And you made me sit through it. God damn you.
I just the thing is that the guy who plays Albert Wesker, there's a twist to it. I already know what the twist is, because I flicked through. I started on episode 8. I went, this is so shit. I'm going to pick one towards the end and see if it's got any potential in it whatsoever. And then it was like, I have no idea what to do. But I really like the actor Lance Reddick, who's the one who plays Albert Wesker. Even though Albert Wesker always came across as a bit Nazi-ish, that's the way we put him across, as an Aryan SS officer. It was the way I always felt that he came across in the games. So I cast him as a black person was like a bit with these two daughters that don't look anything alike.
Yeah,
they're twins, by the way.
Twins, Basil. Twins.
Just twins. It was a special kind of crap. That's the way of describing it. It's a special kind of crap. A lot of it's annoying because I like Resident Evil. Resident Evil 2 remake. Oh, gorgeous. Resident Evil 3, they remade it to the point that they made the same mistake that they did in the original game when making it. That's how committed they were. It was just, oh man. Sorry, what I'm trying to do is I'm going to try and bring up the caterpillar.
The thing that comes out in the first episode. Yeah, is that because the virus kind of mutates shit as well?
Oh, the virus mutates everything.
Right. I don't know a lot about Resident Evil. I've watched, I think, the first film, but you know, I put it this way: I sat through 30 minutes, and then I came back, and I probably had 15 minutes of to watch more of this, or I had 15 minutes to watch James May milking a goat. And to be honest, I watched James May milking a goat.
Hey, yeah, no, it was good. I'm just seeing if I can share it. I don't know if I can. No, it won't let me share it. It's annoying because I would like to show you some like screenshots of it. But yeah, it's the caterpillar. It's weird because I looked at the caterpillar on my phone and I was like, it's passable. I'm more concerned with the fact that you've got two characters who are just so thoroughly unlikable. That got me. That's probably got me more than anything else. It's like you've got what's up fish mush, the one of the daughters in the future in London, and she's got RBF really badly. Oh my god! So it starts off. You've got the black daughter, and she's in London, and she's doing some kind of experiment, and she's using pheromones to disguise herself from the zombies because zombies know what Chanel No. 5 smells like opposed to a corpse. Fair enough. Worked it. They did it in Walking Dead with the gore ponchos. I'll accept that. Yeah. So I'm watching it. She's just sitting there. She looks so thoroughly bored. Okay, fair enough. She's probably been alone for a while. I can get thoroughly bored. So she then goes to zombies into attacking the bunny. They rip the bunny to shreds. She then sets them on fire, which I watched. I think I was cleaning something at the time because it was more important that I cleaned than watching the TV. And then a big caterpillar comes out and attacks her, knocks her out, and then she gets rescued by some locals. Yeah, that's the opening because it kind of has this time jump thing where it's going like to 36. So it does like 36 and 4 months before the full or whatever it is. So it's 14. So there's like a period of time. Anyway, the long and the short of it is they cut to them and her as a teenager. I'm not joking. I would have thrown her out the house or been arrested for child abuse because she's that fucking obnoxious. I'll never bring up someone that poorly. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but this is Hollywood now. They think this is acceptable.
No, because this is they don't bring up their children, and this is how their children behave. So they think this is how children are. That's not how children behave. Yeah, seriously. No. If my dad was on a call with his work colleagues, and I slapped away the tablet that he was making the call on, I'd be fucking backhanded faster than you can say I'm sorry. Yeah, seriously. And they break into a biological research lab where they know they're doing experiments. She says they're doing experiments. I don't like the fact they're doing experiments on bunnies. Okay, I like cute bunnies, yeah? But they might have fucking rabies. All right? So let's work out what was going on first before we go in there, yeah? Instead of releasing the T-virus infected dog, yeah, I thought it was going to be the following. I thought both of them were going to die and Albert Wesker was going to resurrect them. That's what I thought it was going to be. That would be that's an interesting story there and alone because it would have served them right for being horrible individuals. I could have lived with that. That's a story I'd be watching. Fortunately, no. That's not the story. It's two bitchy girls in South Africa complaining that there are too many white people around when she gets bullied by a person of not white origin, shall we say? And it's just they're fucking everywhere, and it's just like, why did you need to include that in the story? Why was that in the story? That didn't need to be in the story. It was like it's just a really irritating company. It made me want to really hate the character, but hey ho. So move on to we go further down. They go to school, get bullied at school. Teachers fucking useless. Girls useless. And then one of them puts a bunny head on and beats the shit out of the other girl. And then does she hide it in the locker? I don't know. I was making bacon. More important, I had to tidy up because of bacon. And then I had to make bacon. Just bacon, more important. In the grand scheme of things, this Resident Evil series, cleaning the toilet I'd clean the toilet first.
I won't be watching any more of this. I won't give Netflix my views. It is a shame, but more and more the stuff that's coming out on Netflix, I'm less interested in. I think this has been the worst year for me watching stuff on Netflix.
I think there's Stranger Things. That's it.
I'm sure there's something else, but it doesn't jump to mind at this point in time. So it wasn't that memorable. I am storing that up, but yes, I will.
That's another thing. I don't know why you haven't watched it. The episode that was aired on Monday/Tuesday in the UK. That was a great episode of TV. I felt spoiled with that. I started watching because I finished the Terminal List stuff, and I started watching Better Call Saul, and I'm like, I need to go for a wee, and I just held on all the way through. Yeah, seriously, it was just that good that I had to hold on for the entire episode. I think it made the episode more tense for me. Sorry, I haven't been reading the comments. So what's it? Hang on a second. Sorry, Bill was
very bad. Funny. Very bad joke.
What's this? Nigel, how do we know the ocean is friendly? It waves. No. Imagine people actually played. It's not. I don't think. I think what it is they use it like a brand rather than actual respecting the source material. Now, this is the funny thing is I watched the crap Resident Evil film, and I'm like, kind of, which one's the crap Resident Evil film? They were all a bit shit. They were, how can I put it? The disposable schlock, which I do enjoy watching a disposable schlock. And I enjoyed this one because I like watching. Sometimes I like watching crap films. Shoot me, yeah, I do. I remember watching old shit B movies on BBC Two late at night and Channel 4 late at night because I used to put them on like a Saturday evening, and I used to set a video recorder to either record them or I'd stay up because kid that couldn't sleep properly. So I shouldn't have done that. So yeah, I watched the Welcome to Raccoon City. Yeah, now they didn't have much of a budget. It didn't go on the casting director because they cast the wrong fucking cast. And they didn't have any money to, how can I put it, have Raccoon City. It was Raccoon Town. And then they tried to put 2 games, Resident Evil 1 and 2, into it, which didn't work. But if we were to give them budget and time and say respect the source material, I reckon they probably would, because there were some bits in there. They managed to recreate the police station from Resident Evil 2. Great. They had the police chief in there from Resident Evil 2. They had all these bits in there. They clearly had understood the source material, and they just went, we ain't got much money. And I'd like to make 2 films, but we're not getting to make 2 films out of this one. Let's just cram the whole thing together and enjoy the ride. Fair enough. But it was schlocky and crap, but enjoyable. More enjoyable than this. I watched that and I'm like, this is all right. There was a bit with an orphanage that didn't need to be in there. I know why they put the orphanage in there. It was a reference to bloody Code Veronica and the kid that you run around with Code Veronica who's got the bomb collar on. I can't remember his name, Trevor or something. But yeah, it was better than this. So if you got a chance to watch Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City, which is a terrible film. Don't get me wrong. It is a remarkably terrible film. Okay? Or Resident Evil Netflix series. 1, it's shorter. 2, it respects the source material. So you'll see things in the game, things from the game in that. Okay? And you'll enjoy it. But I just don't get what I don't. How are these? Why are these characters so fun? I know why they're so obnoxious. It's because they're written by Hollywood writers who bring up their children really poorly. It's like fucking GTA 5 has come real. You've ever played GTA 5?
No. Yes,
okay.
Yes. GTA 5. Sorry, GTA 5. Yes, I've got GTA 5.
All right, GTA 5. So GTA 5, you've got I can't remember his name. Is it Vincent? The former gangster,
the mafia guy, Vincent. Yeah. Yes, I think so. Yeah,
I can't think it's Vincent. Anyway, he's got his kids, fucking awful. Even he says they're awful. Yeah.
Yes, he does.
And it's like that in Hollywood. That's how the children are, and I think it's unacceptable.
I do question this now, because you look at so many of these things where they come out and the characters are just deeply unlikable, you know, and things. I mean, we need to touch on Miss Marvel at some point.
Okay.
But at least with Miss Marvel, the central character is likable, which is unusual because a lot of the Marvel stuff has been hugely unlikable.
Hang on a second. The Marvel TV series, I think most of the casting's been quite good. So it doesn't mean the TV series is good. It just means that the casting director did their job. So I would expect that they had someone charming.
I couldn't get through this. I mean, you know, you're right. She had RBS, or RBF, sorry, and look. I don't now normally go off, you know, all the usual YouTube lot that like to, you know, hate everything. I now rarely actually listen to them. I will go and watch an episode of this, but I'd seen so many different sources go on about how bad this was that when you said, "Have you seen it?" I was like, "No, I'm avoiding it because I
hate watch it."
That was it.
It was a hate watch.
Yeah. I've gone through about 20, as I said, about half an hour, and then I watched James May milking a cow, which was far more enjoyable.
I've got to finish watching that because I started watching that the other day and then I stopped because I needed to go for a big piss, but I wasn't willing to hold on like I did during Better Call Saul. All I can say, Better Call Saul, right? Just a quick note about Better Call Saul. The character of Laulo, he is like Jaws. He disappears below the water and then he resurfaces. And at the end, when something happens, I'm expecting.
I think I know what happens in this episode. Didn't they kill him off?
Just watch it. Just watch it. You'll enjoy. All right. Okay. I'd just like to point out. Right. So Bilford said RRR on Netflix. Okay. Right.
What is RRR?
Right. It's an Indian kind of thing, like a Bollywood film, but like a superhero thing. And I started watching it, and I've got a thing with Indian films because there was this. I've said this story a couple of times, but I'll say it again. I saw this Indian thing a while back, and I kind of got this is back in the turn of 2000s, and there was everyone was talking about Bollywood, this, that, and the other, everything, and I was kind of getting bored with Hollywood films at the time, so I started watching foreign cinema. So I watched. There's a French one called Delicatessen where they invite someone into their house and they carve them up and eat them as meat. And it's a story of a circus performer whose monkey gets killed because there's no meat. I don't know why it's French. That was my comeback from that. And I watched this Indian one called Kashmir. Well, no, sorry. I watched the trailer to this one called Kashmir. And it looked really gritty. It looked really interesting, and it's like I'll go through the subtitles. I'll do subtitles. That's fine. I watched it. And then it was like a minute and a half long, but the first minute was just selling me on it, and then it gets to the minute mark, everyone starts dancing.
Yeah, but not every Indian film is like that.
No, I mean... hang on. Right, this now. I'll explain what I did with RRR. Watched it, and one the portrayal of the British is terrible in that film. That's the first thing. The guy who plays Fire in the bit where he goes through the crowd is epic. It's great. And then you've got, I think it's Water, who then catches the tiger in the jungle. Also really epic. And then when they meet, where they rescue the boy on the bridge, that is also epic. And also it comes across as a little gay. Watch it and you'll understand. So I watched it all the way up.
I think I know what you're probably getting at, but having been to India, it's quite a lot like that.
Yeah. Anyway, I went all the way through because men hold hands in the streets. It's not done. It's not done. Anyway, it's different cultures, but the sleeping dogs lie. Anyway, got to a bit, and they got to a garden party, they started dancing. And I went, no, I've been here before. I remember the trailer for Kashmir. No. It's just, it was, I'll be honest with you, up until that point, yeah, and my own kind of proclivities for not liking the Bollywood dancing, it was really good. I was really into it. It was like an Indian Avengers sort of thing, but with only 2 characters. Okay. And they had a proper bromance in it too. And it was like you could see where it was going. It was laid out really well, done really well, looked fantastic. The guys had done all their work, but as soon as that dancing started, I'm like, I can't do this. Everything. If you can get through the dancing, I imagine you'd probably enjoy that film.
I might check it out.
There's probably one scene too, just to satisfy the Indian crowd.
Well, they kind of did that with. They did. I mean, you know, one of my favorite films is Slumdog Millionaire. I love that film. They put a dance scene at the end, don't they? Because it was it's an English-made movie, but it was filmed in India with a lot of Indian crew. But they put the dance scene at the end. I like that dance scene at the end, but I like the music and everything.
Don't get musicals.
Yeah, some people do, some people don't. So, you know, but I still love My Fair Lady. But there we go. That's a brilliant musical. But
right. So the music, as I'm trying to think of musicals, I like. So War of the Worlds, which isn't a TV musical or anything like that. It's a music. No. It's a musical telling of a story. So it's singing.
Although I actually quite like the audible version that's extended the narration and done by Richard. What's his face? Michael Sheen. And has the music from the Jeff Wayne in it, but an extended version of the story.
I've got that. The other one is that I find tolerable, but if you ask me to watch it in a theatre with you, I will tell you to fuck off. Is the Rocky Horror Show, because it's mental.
Oh yeah,
and dancing fits in with it just being mental.
But you see, this is the thing. Like, I mean, you know, the Orville, Seth MacFarlane, hugely into musicals, composes a lot of music for the Orville. But if you're a Family Guy fan, to really understand where he got the influence from Stewie from, you do have to watch My Fair Lady, because you will not get it until you watch Professor Henry Higgins, and then you'll go, Stewie, like that. And it. I mean, I love My Fair Lady, but that's because my grandparents made me watch it.
So you're okay with
not
dancing.
All musicals. No,
okay, not all musicals. Yeah, no, there's crap ones.
Look. There are some Bollywood. I've seen some Bollywood movies. I know what you mean. I don't like I can't help but laugh when you know the guy does the hair flick, and in India that's deadly serious, and I find it hilariously funny. And I have unfortunately caused a faux pas when I sat down with an Indian family and watched a Bollywood film, and the Indian star comes on screen, and you know he's sophisticated, perfect, you know, wearing makeup, perfect thing, and he flicks the hair like that. I started pissing myself laughing, and they didn't understand why I found that so funny. So it is a cultural thing, but I'm okay with a little bit.
Do you know what? Give it a watch, because up until that bit, I'm not joking. Photography wise, filming, the colors that they use, it's just like the bit where he's running through the colors. Beautifully green, and you get a good feeling for the jungle, and it makes you feel like it.
It's set in
India,
when
like post independence.
British rule or
post independence.
So
before the partition.
The British were pretty fucking nasty then. So,
but forget that the Indians were nasty too.
Oh, yes.
They always forget. Yeah. They always leave that bit out. It's like, hey, you were horrible to each other. You were fucking horrible to it. The only thing that
is something that I will say Miss Marvel slightly glosses over when it bangs on about the partition and how bad it was and how it split up families. Agreed. But it also glosses over the reason as to why it was done. Look, I'm not saying the partition was a good thing. I'm not saying that. There is a huge debate, and you can go into that.
I don't know. I don't know enough.
There's two sides to it.
Is that at that the world at that time, everyone was fucking horrible to each other.
Well,
yeah.
We should briefly talk about Miss Marvel, because there was one moment.
No.
There was
pure. My world is pure.
Even you would have gone. Even you, as a fan of this, would have gone. I'm not talking a fan of Miss Marvel. Would have gone like that. Right at the end, not going into spoilers. Kid who is way too old for his own good, seems to be able to know too much, and is going to MIT. Why he's going to MIT? Because he already knows too much. He goes, I analysed your blood again. And he doesn't say it, but what they... Yes! That's what they did!
I know that was all over Twitter like a rat.
That was awesome. I really did enjoy that. I have to admit, that was quite awesome. The playing the X-Men for cartoon theme was just that hint of it. I was just like, yeah, all right. If you're going to bring in the X-Men and you're going to do it subtly, that was a pretty good way to do it.
Right,
so I will give them their dues on that.
Keith, go and watch the RR thing. As I said, it's beautifully made. I'm going to fast forward through the dancing because I can hate it, because the film probably is worth going past that, because it's just, as soon as the kids, I can't do it. I'm sorry, I really can't do it. It's just not one of those things. But hey, anyway, let's move on to, let's talk about the Orville, because you were talking about Stewie, My Fair Lady. Watched the Orville with what was it called, Silent Graves or something along those lines.
It was silent, yeah, and it was, again, the Orville is doing something really fucking interesting, because what they have just done is they've made their really nasty ass bad guys into very three-dimensional characters, and they've done it in a minute, in an episode, and you've gone, ooh. You almost fucking felt sympathy for the Kalon. In fact, you fucking did feel sympathy for the Kalon at one point. I mean, and to be quite honest, I probably would have blown away those fucking kids if I'd been the robot. I mean, even though it was graphic and it was thing, but fucking hell, they were evil little bastards. So yeah, it was another really thought-provoking episode. This is not a fucking parody. And I know that's going to upset a lot of people that have become fans of the Orville because of its the previous two seasons being almost a parody of Shrek. This is just something on a whole new level. This is fucking good sci-fi writing. This is what this is.
Okay, all right. So this episode was clever, because what it managed to do is it managed to show things in so many different perspectives. Okay, so you had the master-slave relationship with the Kalons. You had the patriarchal view, or the matriarchal view, sorry, with whatever aliens that they were dealing with, and then you had intimate partner violence with Lamar, and I can't remember her name, even if it was unintentional. Yeah, and I think that was weird, because they were saying something without saying something, if that made any sense. Yeah. And it was like, it's not your fault, blah, 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 da-da-da, it's me, I'm sorry, da-da-da. That sort of thing happened. And it ends up with her just beating the crap out of him. Yeah. So you had that in there. And then you had the navigation lady finally forgive... what's his mush? To which he also responds well to her too.
I thought that was nice. I don't know if it's the actress, but I found that character consistently irritating throughout the whole of the third series. And I she's the only unbelievable character. There's no way with that level of prejudice she would be in a having displayed that level of prejudice on more than one occasion would she be in the role that she's in. She would have either been promoted or disciplined. And that's the only thing that I've found difficult. Yes, it was nice to see that. I think they're hinting at some of the emotion being left over. For him to do what he did, therefore has to, on some level, feel it. It can't just be put down. They've cleverly sort of explained off the way he acts, which humans perceive as emotions on like programming and stuff, and they've always found really good explanations of that, much better than they did with Data in Star Trek, I have to say. But this one you couldn't really explain off down to programming, I think. So I think that was like an almost like a hint that something might be left over, which I hope they do and they explore.
Yeah. Because it was,
I'm fucking loving this season. It's really good.
I'm just worried that it'll jack it in. That's my worry. I want at least 3 more seasons out of him. They're not 22 episodes long. Come on, you can.
If he's writing at this level and it's consistently at this level, and we only get the odd, shitty episode, hell, I'm up for it.
Yeah.
It is. Either that or fucking please go and write season 2 of Strange New Worlds, because you've got a cast that's pretty fucking good. You just need decent writers. Except fucking hell, whoever cast Kirk should be shot. But anyway, that's another matter. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I thought this episode was again a really, really interesting one. And you're right. There were so many levels there, and I like these levels. I like these nuances that they've got now. I like all of this stuff. This is proper grown-up sci-fi now. Yes, there's still a few jokes thrown in there, but this is grown-up thinking sci-fi, and this is what fucking Trek should be.
Yeah,
this is what Trek was.
It's right. Do you know what the funny thing is one of the reasons that Trek was like that is because they couldn't afford to spend money on special effects left, right, and center. Now they can afford to do money on special effects left, right, and center. They're not spending it on the writers. You combine the two together, and you get something like this, is just great.
I mean, you don't need again. It's you say that you've got those really expensive sets in Strange New Worlds, which are actually jarring. I mean, Pike's fucking quarters are way too big, and he's got a fucking gas fire in it, for God's sake. Why couldn't you have just spent a few more quid on a decent fucking writer and take away the gas fire, which you're not going to have on a spaceship?
No, I can't. I can't. Where would they put the chimney? It's a hologram. Because it's a hologram, it's fine.
No, it's a proper fucking. It's like a flashy version of a stove. It really is. I really don't. I mean, when we first saw the Enterprise in Discovery, it actually looked interesting. It looked good. It looked like they'd taken the 60s thing and they'd put a modern twist on it, but they'd kept the feel of the original 60s Enterprise there. In this, they've refitted it out and it just looks stupid. And to me, they should have spent more money on the writers. Where, the thing is, Seth MacFarlane wanted to do Star Trek. He went to them before they went with Brian Fuller, who promptly left the fucking show to write and do Trek. Can you imagine if MacFarlane was now doing Trek, what we would be getting? I mean, we would be getting really fucking good Trek.
Well, if he was allowed to do what he wants to.
But there's some people at Paramount now looking at the season of the Orville going.
Do you know the funny thing is, because it's on Disney Plus in the UK, I probably watched more Disney Plus in the last couple of weeks than Netflix.
Yeah, that's the only thing, unfortunately, because Hulu or whatever it's called in the States is Disney.
Hulu.
It's Disney owned. They bought
Hulu.
it. They own like the biggest.
They got rid of it. They originally made Crisps in the UK, and they just got rid of the hoops, and now it's Hulu. So that's a joke for English people get.
But that's why it's on Disney Plus everywhere else, because Hulu is still operating. You watch within the next 2 to 3 years, Hulu will be folded into Disney. It'll probably become the Disney Plus adult thing, or the Disney X, or whatever they're going to fucking call it.
Disney X, Disney Triple X. Fucking
that's been those jokes. I'm loving it.
It's great. I like the idea that they used the. I was a bit worried because when I first saw them and they were hiding down in the thingy, and she went, "Oh no, so and so died." Shifty eyes, yeah. So and so died before we could finish the experiment. Like, did the freaking thing kill him? Is that what she was saying? I thought it was going to be like a mystery like that. Maybe there is more to it and we haven't seen it. And then it was like okay, we gave the thing emotions, but we used the pain receptor things in order to give it emotions, because it's a sound. Right, I'm going to go nerd talk now. Okay, so consciousness, you need like an endocrine system to experience like fear and exaltation and excitement and all that stuff, because you need chemicals being sent around your body and into your brain and your other bits to register that, and robots don't have that, so it's hard to do that. But they said, oh well, we'll do it off of what would be the pain receptor, so we can just augment that, so we can do that to give them that sense. And then you had the thing where Isaac's like kind of, I because I was the upgraded model, they removed that because they thought logically that they wouldn't want to be subject to being put through the torture that they were put through previously. The downside is that they may get the Kalons and split them into two. You may have the Kalons that feel and all happy, lovey-dovey, and the newer models that don't feel, going, what the crap, this is not logical. Get your shit together, yeah?
That might be where they're going. There's several threads that they've got going through this season that they've got to do something with. You know, you've got the daughter thing with the now leader. So you've got that thread. You've got, although I really didn't like the episode and the really, really, really badly cast actress that really did have a terrible Californian look to her.
Just skip
but there is that thread. And now you've got the Kalon thread, and what I think you've hit the nail on the head, that effectively they could create a faction that has emotion and regret and will clearly side with the Union. But I think they will then give technology to the Union that will help in the war. But they'll probably end up feeling really bad about it and go through. There is a lot to explore there. There's a lot of emotion to explore there, and done right and written right, it could be really good. And I trust them to do that. So
it's good. It's good writing. What's
it's
it?
The
Dr. Quinn, medicine woman, does not like being referred to as Cassidy Yates from Deep Space Nine. She likes to be referred to as Dr. Quinn, medicine woman from the Orville, which I understand. She's got a much better character.
She's a much more interesting character in this.
Yes.
She would also be known to many from 24 as the one that, the nasty.
No. She's nice in my eyes. She's a nice person. All right. She's a nice person. She's politics.
But in this,
I know that's why I remember, because she played the Lady Macbeth part, shall we say?
Yeah.
Pulling strings.
This can go so many ways. What have we got? 3-4 episodes left, and there is still a lot to do here. Has it got 12 episodes or 10?
I hope it's got 12. I hope it's 12.
I'm hoping we've got 5 left.
Probably. But saying that, they had that time travel episode that didn't quite explain at the end of the season.
Well, you noticed something of the 4 being thing, and that could be something.
I'll show this on stream. I was trying to explain to Nigel, was like kind of, when Gordon got pushed back through time, why didn't he wind up in deep space? Which is a perfectly logical...
Actually, I mean, I have to... I was more shocked to the fact that fucking Nigel asked that question in the first place, because that had some nice... Nigel had some 3-dimensional sci-fi thinking going on there.
Yeah.
What is in the water on that boat?
Yeah. It's just that boat, yeah. It's maybe he's not got much to do, so he's overthinking
must
things.
Be the salty air that Nigel is actually having sort of
he is Captain Birdseye.
Oh yeah, he's back in his home, so everything's good.
Because when that episode happened, Gordon got split into 4. And I couldn't it won't let you take screenshots of bits anymore. It used to, but now with an update, it's removed the ability to take a screenshot. So I had to take it on my phone. So you have to excuse the poor picture quality. But that's Gordon being split into 4. I said to Nigel, there's probably 3 dead Gordons floating out in deep space. But I said to him, because he probably got hit by a wave. That's the what's it called? They call it quantum wave in their thingy. Yeah, so he probably got hit by the quantum wave, which propelled him through space.
if this isn't, you're right. There's definitely 4 Gordons there. So let's see what they come back with, because that's interesting.
Because there might be a Gordon from the future, a Gordon from the past. We've had the Gordon in the past. They got Gordon in the present. They got Gordon in the future, and another Gordon. Parallel universe Gordon. That's exciting. This stuff I like.
I genuinely I look forward to the Orville now every week. It's good viewing. I am enjoying it immensely. Really good.
It's nice to, as I said, during the pandemic we had some real crap TV or no TV.
We have. I'm kind of glad that we're getting good TV again. I've mentioned the James May thing. I have one fucking bone to pick with this James May series, right?
Okay.
They bang up in the Rome episode. They do not go to any of the Roman fucking sites because apparently you have to pay for them. And they went, "Oh, it's too expensive to film there." Now, if this was the BBC making this, I'd believe it. This is King Amazon, like one of the richest companies in the fucking world.
No. You have to understand the following. James May said, "I want to go on holiday to Italy. I'll make you a TV show. How much money are you willing to give me?" And they went, 70 grand. All right, done. Yeah, and that was it.
Amazon, a couple of million is a fucking drop in.
Did you not watch his cookery show? That was
but they said that failed
in total.
He said that failed.
It was 10 grand during COVID. He thought, "Fuck it, I'll give it a go." And Amazon were good enough to accommodate him for it.
I mean, seriously, he went to Rome and didn't go anywhere near the Colosseum. I mean, seriously. But anyway, that's my only bugbear because the rest of it's been very good. But and I really enjoyed the Japan one. In fact, I really enjoyed the Japanese one. But who was the guy in the Japanese one? The really sort of eccentric fucking guide. I was half hoping they'd somehow sneak him into this one, but
he's got his guide that he's making googly eyes at.
Oh, there's a male guide that's quite good as well. There's an Italian male guy who's like semi. He's been really good in this as well. There's 3
because he went to Sicily, and I've managed to see into the volcano hole in Sicily. The volcano hole. It's not called that. It's got a special name. Volcano hole. Sounds so intelligent. Volcano hole. The top. Looking down into the top. The crater. Everyone call it. And I've managed to see that, and I've managed to see the lava leaking out and destroying a few neighbouring buildings too. It's not a nice place to visit, Sicily. It really is. It's a nice place to visit. I had a good time there. It's got a lot. I like places with lots of history, so it's always good. Mum, Mrs. was talking about because we've got a Disney trip this year, so, talking about doing. Going to like Italy or somewhere like that with some historic bits and taking Dexter around there, because that's what before Dexter was born we used to go on holiday and we used to go and see as many sites as we could. And if I was like you and Chuck, I would have been filming them left, right, and center, because I didn't really spend. I think we always spent like 2 days by the pool in total, but we do as many things as we could. So we went to Malta and then did Malta and then we did Sicily, or was it Sicily from Malta? Yeah, we did that. We did Greece. We went to bloody Albania. There's some great Roman ruins in Albania. Some fabulous ones, like in the middle of the jungle and that. And yeah, I need to finish watching the James May thing. It's not nerdy, but it's entertaining.
It's
nice
not
TV.
No,
I want nice TV.
But it's James May, and you either love him or hate him. I love him, and there's a lot. There are some nerdy things in there. He goes to look at the new rocket that ESA are using, the Ariane rocket. So he goes to that factory, which is in Italy. That was pretty good. He went to some doing some sort of messing around with dark matter in a mountain. That was quite interesting. So there is some nerdy
was
stuff
that was the one?
Yeah, the neutrinos. Yeah.
Okay.
So he went there, and if you're into cars, he obviously can't not go to Ferrari. But I'm hoping in the last episode he's fucking on Lake Como, right? And he's a motorbike collector. If he doesn't go to the Moto Guzzi factory, I'll be most upset. Because if you're on damn Lake Como, you go to freaking Moto Guzzi because it is one of the most classic Italian bikes. But anyway, we are really diverging.
We're going off into the weeds, properly going off into the weeds.
I will watch this thing on Amazon this week.
Watch RRR. We'll review it next week. It's like kind of Bilford says he'll get his 10k views on it. Yeah. But
I'll check it out.
I'll watch it.
Trust me. Check it out.
The bit I watched up until the dancing. Yeah, the bit I watched up until the dancing. Really good. Seriously good. And then as soon as I went to that garden party, I went, "Oh, we shall have a dance off." And I'm like, it's not like Guardians of the Galaxy where it goes, "I'm trying to distract you." Yeah.
That was brilliant.
Okay.
I still love that bit. That scene in the original movie was great. Yeah. No. What else? Is there anything else that we've got to talk about? Because what haven't we covered this week?
What haven't we covered? Love. No, that's it. I think I haven't seen Thor: Love and Blunder. I might go and see it in a bit when my wife comes up. I don't have to pay anything. I just walk in there, go, "Where's the nearest Thor showing?" Plunk my ass down there. It's air conditioned, so I might see it tomorrow just so I can sit in an air conditioned room because it'd be like,
if you're watching,
crap, I can enjoy the air conditioning.
If you're watching in the UK, I mean, I can't actually believe I'm saying this. You're going to have it much hotter than us. Stay hydrated. Coconut water is really good.
Right. Right.
Go on.
Do you know what I find funny? Someone found a what do you call it? An old weather report from 1994. So when I was 14, same temperatures. But
well, it didn't.
At the same time, it was. I remember it being that I remember as a kid, it was that fucking hot.
It's going to go.
And all the weather reports.
We've only had 40 degrees once here, so that is uber hot. So yes.
Well, I've got the fan on here. Hydrated. Stay hydrated. You know, and it's just going to be one of those things. So stay out. Be like me, a vampire that stays out direct sunlight, because I can't do direct sunlight. Actually, saying that, I've got a work function on Thursday, and then we actually can't do a review next week. I'm not here.
Oh, okay.
I'm away that weekend, and then I'll be back after that for a period, and then I'll be away in August. I'll see if I can join you remotely when I'm in August, even if it's just me sending video clips of being silly bugger.
Even if it's you just walking around Star Wars picking thing, because as much as I know it's the thing, I still want to get in there and just have a look. I am a Star Wars fan.
I will show you the Star Wars thing, and then I will walk around Diagon Alley and Hogsmeade and film both, and then you can tell me which one's better, because the Harry Potter one, I'll go to the Star Wars one. The Harry Potter one is spot on.
I think it's just standing next to the full-size Millennium Falcon. You know, that to me is the, you know, knowing when they built that one at Longcross, how fucking close I was to it and couldn't get in to have a look at it.
I was with you at the time.
It was before the drone, though. It was before drones. Knowing how sodding close we were to it.
It was the Last Jedi. So really, did we lose out, or
we lost out seeing the Millennium Falcon? And we should have burnt it down. Then maybe it would have delayed that film. I look. I admit that I want to do the US theme parks. I do. Them and I would love to do it. But one day, hopefully, touch wood, we'll get to do it. Yeah. So
my advice for you is fly to Ireland and go from Ireland to the States.
Is it cheaper?
I'm not saying it's cheaper or it's easier to get through passport control. Just saying, just do it. All right, just look into it. Wink, wink. For anyone in Europe and anyone outside Europe too. So on that note, we'll call it a day. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Bye bye.